How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And I really do appreciate you taking your time tuning into today's video. Whenever there's a mass pew-pewing, especially when an AR-15 is used, but also when they're not, we have the usual suspects calling for AR-15s to be banned. And of course they want universal background checks. Of course the usual suspects are the Democrat politicians, and of course most of the news media, as well as most of the people that work in the film industry. And then of course you have the ones that play sports. And they all have their opinions, at which they're entitled to. But most of them have no idea how an AR-15 works, especially when they call it a weapon of war, which it's not. And the latest person that said we don't need AR-15s, and that they're not used for self-defense, and that all we need is 6-shooters, is College Football Hall of Fame coach Steve Spurrier. Don't you wish these people would stick to what they know best? Like Steve Spurrier, he should just stick to college football. But unfortunately, he decided to open his mouth about what he thinks about AR-15s. Recently, Steve Spurrier, on his show Inside The Huddle, he brought up AR-15s and the recent shooting in Georgia. And he even mentioned by name one of the coaches of the football team. His name is Ricky Aspinwall, and he lost his life in the recent mass shooting. And this is exactly what Steve Spurrier said. Everybody says hearts and prayers go out. But why in the world in America are you eligible to go into a gun store and buy an AR-15 rifle? Hey Steve, why don't you check out the Second Amendment, and that'll answer your question for you. They should just have a sign. If you need a gun for mass school shooting, here is your AR-15. We will give you a discount. Why don't they just put that sign up there? That's the only thing they're used for. You don't need them for self-defense. And yet we sit here and say blah blah blah. Steve, Google is your friend. You can find numerous accounts on the internet how somebody used an AR-15, let's say stop a church massacre, when somebody used an AR-15, or the numerous accounts of people using them for self-defense purposes. He went on to say, we're messed up in America to allow sick people to have these guns, and it ain't going to stop until they get all these guns out of the way. You can carry a 6-shooter to protect yourself, which we're all for. But these AR-15s are for mass shootings in schools. And we sit here and allow it to happen in America. It makes me sick. Steve, what makes me sick is someone like you spewing bullshit that thinks somebody having a 6-shooter is good for self-defense. You've lost your freaking mind. Do some freaking research. We can now add Steve Spurrier's all you need is a 6-shooter for self-defense to when Biden was vice president and said that AR-15s are hard to use. All you need is a double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts up in the air. We all can carry 6-shooters like John Wayne did in the movies. Hey Steve, what other constitutional rights do you want to limit? Freedom of speech? Freedom of the press? Freedom of religion? Remember the Second Amendment says, our right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Semi-automatic firearms, whether it be pistols or rifles, are the most commonly used for self-defense. And you can throw shotguns in there as well. But Steve said we should have the good old 6-shooter. The anti-gun politicians and others at one time were just content with banning AR-15s. And now they want to add the kitchen sink as well and just go for banning all semi-automatic firearms. And if they ever got their wish and they banned AR-15s, it's still not going to stop mass shootings. Do you think every person will turn in their AR-15? Of course not. Millions of people would not turn them in. And if for some reason everybody did turn them in, they would just choose another weapon. And then of course you would want to ban that one. And then they would choose another one, and then you would want to ban that one to get to their ultimate goal, to ban most firearms in existence. Most people will say Steve Spurrier was a pretty good college football coach. And like I said, everybody has a right to speak their opinion. But remember, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. But like all these other anti-gun pieces of crap, you need to stick to what you're good at, or what you think you're good at. Steve Spurrier, stick to football and talking about football. And what you said on your show definitely shows you know absolutely nothing about firearms. Let me know what you think about Steve Spurrier's comments in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed today's video and you want to help the channel out and help it to continue to grow, I just ask you to take a few seconds of your time to like, share, and subscribe and hit those post notifications. I would be very grateful if you did so. And I invite you to come back and watch my next video.